I had a very different video planned for today because, well, this is a music channel in which I want to keep it that way. But when you get woken up to news of, hey, a country has been invaded, and you're like, it's 2022, really? Yeah. It's very real, and not to mention people who woke up in that country to bombs, right? It's fucking horrifying. And look, I'm not a political person. I never have been, and I don't want to be. But I also know a good chunk of people who are here following this channel, as well as who are in the metal scene, are both from Russia, Ukraine, or Slavic in general. I mean, my biggest video is Slavic metal, and the rest of my channel has nothing to do with Slavic stuff really. But I understand that a good chunk of the audience is actually from there. And for this, I was also getting just messages like, both from Ukrainians saying, Nick, like, spread the word or do anything you can. And from Russians who are, I've either are fans or even friends of mine who are like, Nick, we didn't want this to happen. This is not us. This is the government being insane, right? And just going crazy and basically saying YOLO, like, let's start a war. And it's really tough to see. It's very tough to see that. Like I said, I have plenty of friends, even in bands, whether it's Ukrainian, like Ginger, that they're a huge band, and they're I'm friends with Eugene, and a bunch of Russian bands, Chakrin, who is partly Ukrainian and they're partly Russian, Slaughter to Prevail, Wild Ways, even Toli. These are all bands and friends I've had for a long time, and none of them want any of this to happen. And they're all just trying to figure out what's going on, because it's crazy that something like this is happening in, again, 2022. And even looking at the news, which I get it, a lot of news can be biased, some things can be fake and false. Like I said, I'm not a political person, I'm not a journalist. But for what it seems like a lot of Russians don't want this. They're protesting at threat of going to jail or worse, and the government's just saying they don't care. They're going to have this war no matter what. And it's so sad to see. It's really sad, because it doesn't seem like Russians want this. Ukrainians obviously don't want this, but because of crazy governments, it's just happening. And look, I'm Canadian, as most of you probably know, but when it comes to my family, like, it's Slavic. Like, there's Ukrainian roots, there's Serbian roots. There's multiple different Slav roots there. And it's so unfortunate to see two countries at war in general, but places that are so close to home, kind of even to my family in that sense. And I remember growing up, even, and because I'm a good chunk of Serbian, having my parents be like, hey, like, you're gonna grow up and like Croatians just kind of won't like you. And you're a kid, you don't know why. You don't know there was a war and the government did some messed up things. But you just grow up and you're thinking, oh wow, I'm just disliked by a country because of something my government did, and you don't even know why or how. And it's scary thinking that same thing here with Ukrainians and Russians, that there's going to be this built-in animosity now between the two, just because of the government being insane is the best word I can really use. It's unfortunate to see, whether it's talking to friends and, some who are in Kiev right now and not knowing if they're, what's going on with them, or friends in Russia that are also terrified of what's happening and what their government is doing, that they have no control over, and what's happening now and what's to come. And like I said, I'm not a political dude. I don't want to be. I never will be. I know you guys are here to watch music stuff, which, and watch me do the weird, dumb faces to breakdowns. And that's what I do. But this is something that I just felt it's important. And I want to let know, to my whatever Slavic friends and community that we have your back, which doesn't mean a lot. You guys are at war and we're just here, talking about it. But stay safe. I feel for you guys, and a lot of the community does, even the metal scene, which I know probably won't talk about this stuff much, even though it's big news because, it's the music world. You're going to talk about music, which is the mindset I also have for most of it. But all I hope is that Ukraine, can survive best they can and stay safe. And same for, the Russian citizens who do not want this to happen. And that there's not going to be this built-in animosity between, Russians and Ukrainians for the next century because of something a crazy government decided to do and say, YOLO, like, we're doing this. We don't care. Deal with it.